Well, really not much to say about last week. Just an awful week. Steven here with Dan. Another week, guys.
Hey guys, how's it going? Another week? First off, we gotta get to serious business, and we like to send our condolences out to everybody in Newtown,
Yes.
Connecticut. Very heinous attack, and it's just unreal, unfathomable. I can't even fathom the situation that went on during last Friday. Actually, we were taping on Thursday night. It's just unbelievable what happened last week. That someone that insane would do something so crazy and take lives of innocent children.
There's no words to describe what happened. Our condolences to everybody.
Yeah.
Weekend didn't get much better.
Well,
Football-wise.
we can't really compare it.
Of course, we're not going to compare it, but football-wise, there's no... For our town, for this area, there was no, glimmer of brightness, you know? You look for the teams. Look for the teams to give you that smile. There really wasn't any.
Yeah, but there was a lot of better things that the town of Newton is going to be doing. Hopefully the Giants and Jets, hopefully the Giants bring a little smile to their faces and other things like that, but there's just there's nothing to compare this to. So, but we're going to try our best to bring a show tonight.
Okay, guys, welcome to the show. Steven here with Dan.
Guys, how's it going? Another interesting week. The weeks are starting to dwindle to the playoffs.
It's that time of the year again.
It's that time of year of crunch time. Who's getting in? Who's getting out? Who's the pretender? Who's the real team? And pretender? Who's the contender?
Should be fun. Should be fun the last 2 weeks. A lot still riding on the last 2 weeks.
Very nerve-wracking, very least for us Giant fans. Jet fans are still angry and still going on with the drama, but unfortunately their run is over.
Past couple of years, a lot of things have been clinched by this point, except for a couple of seeds. But really, if you really want to think of it, every seed is up for grabs in the next 2 weeks. Basically, you have both home fields throughout. You have both number 2 seeds. I mean, if I told you back when the Packers lost to Seattle that they had a chance to play for the 2 seed right now,
it's been a crazy month.
It's been a crazy season. This season just
with the striking of the refs and yada yada yada, and the chief killing himself, and last week a Dallas Cowboy drunk drive and killed his teammate.
Why you bring that up? I want to ask you your opinion on him being on the sideline. Okay, I'm going to put...
No, I know his...
Brown's mom said support him in any way. Would you have him on the sideline if you're the owner?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have him on the sideline.
No.
It's not a place. And you know he did the right thing. He left on his own. Yeah,
he had to. Because a lot of people don't know the scenario and see it shows the Cowboys... Oh, you supported practically a killer, essentially, because he killed his best friend, and obviously the parents of the person that's dead, they know that they were roommates, X, Y, and Z, and it's
really good friends and all that stuff.
But that was just what's stupid on his part, and he understands what lies ahead for him. That he probably screwed up any chance of him making a career out of it, and it's just really sad and stupid. But let's talk about the real football and not the drama that's off the field and everything like that.
Hey, that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk football. We're here to help you guys talk football, hear our opinions on football. We're always around. Always message us on our Facebook pages. Like the Facebook page, share the Facebook page. We're going to keep doing the YouTube videos for now. We're hoping to be changing that soon, but we'll get into that later on. Hopefully you keep following and keep in touch with us during the off-season as well.
Absolutely. We're probably going to do a draft show and all that other
We'll do draft. We'll do a pre-season thing, training camp. Also keep in mind, I'm just going to throw this out there right now.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah, we're
going to try and do a couple of weeks here and there of baseball. Just talk about some matchups.
We'll probably do monthly because it's too...
It's not like football where it's every week, one game.
Yeah, once a week would be the who's hot team, who's cold, who's... blah, blah.
So like once a month we could throw in a baseball show for you guys. We'd love to hear from you guys on that as well. So enjoy this week's show. Yay Jets! Well, Jet fans, the season's over.
Well, another week, another dramatic twist and turn to this Jets season. But unfortunately, their contention of any shot of unrealistic but realistic shot of making the playoffs is finally dead. They lost to the Tennessee Titans 14-10, which was a pretty sloppy game to say the very least.
Every Jet game has been that way this year.
Yeah, but the Titans were just as sloppy, and if it wasn't for a 94-yard touchdown by Chris Johnson, which helped me win my fantasy week, the game was pretty boring. Sanchez was sloppy again. You know the routine. Sanchez was sloppy.
Tebow's dressed and barely does anything.
Barely does anything, but he has this whole. He had a series. He was 0 for 1 in throwing.
3 for 15 on the ground.
3 for 15 on the ground, and he still had a better he still had a better quarterback rating than Mark Sanchez. Sanchez had another brutal game, 4 picks.
13 for 28, 131.
It's gotten to that point, and this week, not unfortunately, this week Mark Sanchez is finally benched.
They don't know if he'll be dressed or not, but they are benching him. He's not starting. Macklin's.
Yeah, I see him dressing. All three of them are going to be dressing, and some random player that they don't really need, but they should dress instead of a third quarterback.
You might not see Sanchez dress because this is, now that they're out, you might see other guys dress, so you can give them that chance to see them and see what they have.
Maybe. But I see all 4 of them dressing.
But it had to suck to be fit.
But also, to be fair, Sanchez did throw a touchdown, but he sucked. It's over for him in New York. There's no way he's coming back.
And the worst part about the game was that not only did he throw that pick under the 2-minute mark, and you thought, okay, they're going to get the ball back.
They just had 3 chances to win the game at the final minute of the game.
And then they fumbled it. After they got a crappy punt from the Tennessee guy, got to the 25-yard line, first snap. Your Pro Bowl center, Nick Mangold, and Mark Sanchez have been working together for 4 years, and they couldn't get on the same page for 1 snap. Ugh. Jet fans.
Ugly.
Cumberland with the touchdown, by the way. He's got a couple on the air now.
He has a couple. He's done an okay job filling in for the awfully injured Dustin Keller this season, who's had a very quiet year because of his injuries.
Jake Locker also had an inefficient day. Just 2 sloppy teams playing each other. That's really what it was.
Yeah, it really was, but he scored a touchdown to win the game, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. The Jets this week play the San Diego Chargers, another team that has nothing on the line. This game was originally a Sunday nighter, but of course, since
the NFL was smart enough.
Since both teams are not in the race this year, they flexed it out. What is this week's Sunday night football game now?
Seattle hosting San Francisco for the division.
That was a good change. I approve.
Because you can't put the NFC East on every week, so.
No, well, yeah.
Or the Patriots, so. Yeah. You gotta pick up.
That was a good one. Hopefully the Seahawks win.
It won't be like a couple years ago when they had the Seahawks and the Rams in the final week.
The team was under 500.
Yep.
That year was brutal for that division.
Yeah, they won the playoff game.
Yeah, that was amazing. One of the most amazing upsets I've ever seen.
The Marshall Lynch.
Yeah.
Beast mode.
Beast mode on the New Orleans Saints, yeah.
There's really not much to say. Both teams are pretty bad. The only thing is the Chargers have a decent defense.
I'm interested to see how McElroy handles himself in his first career start. He's not really much of a... He is a game manager. He was always a game manager in college. He had weapons around him like Julio Jones and Mark Ingram and Richardson and yada yada yada. But he was a very good manager in college in the SEC, which is the best conference in the country.
He did win the national championship as well. He won one, right?
Yes, he won one, and that year was over Tim Tebow's senior year when they beat them in the
SEC
conference championship.
Chargers coming cross country. They're just waiting for Turner to be gone.
But I think they're gonna win.
The Chargers? Yeah, the Chargers are gonna win this game. What's the spread on this game? 2.
2.
Jets by 2.
Oof, that was just a pity.
It's because the Chargers coming cross country.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
So nice NFL meme today, by the way. Rivers and Matthews.
Gotcha.
It was Rivers telling Matthews, "You get hurt more than I get picked off." Thought you would enjoy that. But anywho, about the Jets. While we're on the Jets.
Yeah, they are a lot of drama this week. Saying Tebow is gone.
Bayless had an interesting tweet.
I didn't hear Skip's tweet today.
My buddy Matt brought it up to me. His tweet reads, "Wouldn't it be something if Jets fire Rex, bring in McDaniels, and keeps Tebow, and wins the division with Tebow?"
Not ever happening, ever.
Oh, there's no way. I don't see that happening either.
That's too far-fetched.
Well, that was Skip for you.
Man.
But that's what he does. Yeah, we'll keep talking about the Jets next week. Just keep in mind.
Just this week, Tebow. They're saying Tebow's going to get cut at the end of the year, and they're looking to trade Sanchez.
They're looking to trade Sanchez. Tebow wants to be traded.
Realistically, who the hell wants Mark Sanchez for $8 million that he's guaranteed next year?
Yeah, it's not a matter of.
It's the Jets.
Will the Jets trade him? It's a matter of who will be stupid enough to trade for him. The only team that you can really say.
The Jets are not cutting him because they don't want the huge cap hit. But
the only person you can say that might trade for him,
Arizona.
It'd be Arizona, and that's if they cut Cobb, who I don't think has any guaranteed money next year.
I'm not too sure about Kevin Cobb's, but Kevin Cobb is shittier than Mark Sanchez, just by a hair.
Just look at all their quarterbacks combined. I would rather Sanchez.
Yeah.
But I can see the Cardinals actually looking to draft a quarterback because Fitzgerald is sick and tired of bringing in what used to be or supposed to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, what's sad is there isn't really that quarterback draft class like it was this year.
Well, a lot of people are saying Geno Smith out of West Virginia is going to step up at the Combine. If he has a good bowl game and steps up at the Combine, he could end up moving into the top picks. They also thought that he would be number 1 after those games that he had earlier in the year, but he only had one good game?
Yeah, they didn't do
He hasn't been good since. The worst is that I hear teams talking about Manziel already.
Yeah, but...
He's a freshman.
Yeah.
There's really not much to say about the Jets. Another game after this, they get to go to Oakland next week. That's the Chargers are going to Oakland next week.
The Jets are playing the Bills
in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
It's not in Canada. It's in Buffalo. I still don't get why they play a game in.
Because it would be like the Giants played and actually played in New York.
Yeah.
It's a bigger city than Buffalo, and they try to get the Canadians involved like they do in England.
Jets 6, 10, and 10 in the last 3 games, points wise.
Oh wow.
I know 7, 17, and 10. They're just a disaster.
Huh?
There's really nothing to say. I still don't think Rex is going to be gone.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he's earned the right to be gone. I think that, what are they?
They're 5 and 7.
5 and 7. So, basically they're 5 and 7, 6 and 7.
6. Oh, sorry, 6 and 7. I apologize.
So there's no way of them going 500 season, which will be, unless they win out. Actually, no, they have to be 7 and 7.
They're under 500.
6 and 8.
Yeah.
Not
The
6 and
best would
6
be
and 8.
8 and 8.
The best would be 8 and 8. If they went out and be 8 and 8, that would mean 4 years of not one of 500 ball on the Rex.
4 years in a row, yes.
2 years at 8 and 8, and 2 years over 8.
The Rex not good.
He hasn't earned it. They put Sanchez on the injury list, huh?
Yeah.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. It's gotten that bad, huh? What is his quote-unquote injury?
On their injury report, it says the Jets plan to explore trade market for Sanchez after season.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
That's his.
That's interesting. They just given a buff on him. He'll probably have the flu, so he won't dress, probably.
Have the flu, and then they might just leave him in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Have the 2 highest paid, overrated quarterbacks in the league in Buffalo.
Sounds like
Patrick and Sanchez. What else you got to say about the Jets?
That's about it. It's just going to be a fun off-season again, and see who's what and where they're going. And
We actually have in a couple of weeks the final regular season show that we'll have. My buddy Matt's going to come by. Big Jet fan, watches all the games, goes to all the home games. He's going to come by.
that should be fun.
We're going to have him on with us, and we're going to talk Jets with him.
That's going to be fun.
We're going to get a Jets point of view. 2 Giants fans always talking about the Jets to you guys, so we figured for the final show, we'll bring him in.
Boy, he's going to be real. Hopefully the Giants win.
He already told me to make sure everybody knows, don't let their children listen.
Oh boy.
But it should be interesting. Get his point of view on the season. See what he thinks that should happen during the off season.
He's going to be a wreck.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Oh, hopefully the Giants make the playoffs.
Hopefully nobody.
Me and Matt will have fun. But yeah, that's the Jets this week. They're playing the Chargers at 1:00. It's not an 8:20 game. Everybody who is paying attention, because it originally was a 8:00 game, but it was flexed out. So 1:00 game. Don't forget, if you want to burn your eyes and watch the game, I'll probably be watching it.
No, I would put my money on you on Red Zone or something.
Yeah, I might most likely the Red Zone.
Because there's no other game on in our area.
Alright, Red Zone it is.
I looked it up before to make sure I didn't.
No, I'll be flipping back and forth and watching Red Zone in this game. I try watching this game as much as I can until I can't take it anymore. Especially this year.
Well, the best part about this year about the Chargers is you haven't heard one. I'd rather have Rivers over Eli.
Yeah, that's whatever.
That was the Jets for this week. There's really nothing else to say.
Go Jets! Come on, Jets!
I want the Jets to win out.
Prove us wrong, Jets. Come on, McElroy. Let's do it, bud.
I'm proud to be a New York Giant. There ain't no team like the New York Giants. I'd rather be a New York Giant. I'm proud to be a New York Giant.
Alright, here we go again. Another Giant stinker. They didn't even show up to play last week against the Atlanta Falcons.
That was embarrassing.
It was a very embarrassing loss, 34-0. It was over before we were even to blink. The first drive, the second play of the game, Eli threw a pick, and that was it. Then they scored a quick touchdown, and then we drove the ball. The Lawrence Times again the last 3 weeks, missing a field goal, makeable field goal, and then they score again. It was just a sloppy game. We try to convert on 3 4th downs, 0 for 3 on those, and then they converted on every time. Every time we screwed up, they scored a point. They just kicked our ass every facet of the game, special teams, defense, and offense. The Giants couldn't make any tackles to get off the field. They couldn't save their life. Staying on the field, they didn't stick with the run with David Wilson like they would. Akeem Nicks was nowhere to be found. Eli Manning had his only 2 points for me in fantasy. I was unhappy with that. But it was just one of those days as a Giant fan, and there's nothing new. It's the 3rd year in a row that the Giants just decide to lay an egg and make their playoff picture very unbearable and nerve-wracking again. I know.
Every time somebody tells the Giants that it's going to be easy road for them going forward,
it's the exact opposite.
The Giants decide to flip the switch off.
It is a tough. Once again, you weren't expecting the Giants. You were hoping the Giants would win. But if they lost to the Falcons, okay, fine.
But you wanted an effort.
Yeah, not 34-0 type of a loss. So this week, I'm sure Coughlin's whipping their asses at the Timex Performance Center. And this week, it's do or die, essentially. This week, if the Giants don't win, the season is essentially over.
Unless they get lots of help.
If they get lots of help, if the Redskins and Cowboys both lose this week, it's pretty much the Giants control their own destiny. They have to win out to get 10 wins. If they do not get 10 wins, they are not making the playoffs.
Well, they can win with 9. They can get in with 9.
Yeah, but that is a very last case scenario.
If they win this week,
3 teams lose and he wins and blah blah blah.
You know what's interesting about the clinching scenario for this week for the Giants? If they win, the Redskins, Vikings, Bears lose, and the Cowboys lose, they're in. But in that same Cowboys game, if they end up tying, they also clinch.
Oh well.
If they win and those other 3 teams lose, if the Saints tie, they clinch a spot.
Oh, interesting.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, honestly, it's coming down to that time of year with the Giants. It's put up or shut up time. 2 years ago, we obviously fell a little short because we needed more teams to help us out after the Deshaun Jackson debacle. Then the week after getting our asses kicked in Green Bay, pretty much that game had a similar feel to last week's game. The Giants needed to show up. It's a big time game against the Green Bay Packers, and they just laid a complete egg before it was 14-0 before we were able to blink, and I was able to have my feet up on the recliner per se during the game.
That was just terrible last week in a long time.
There's nothing to talk about how shitty they were.
Like you said, they didn't stick to the run, but if you want to look at the bright side, Wilson did lead the game.
That's what I wanted to talk about. I didn't mind Lumpkin getting a couple of drives. That's a normal. But they completely stopped giving Wilson the ball.
The reason Lumpkin was in, though, was
for pass
protection.
Well, of course.
If you're going to go 90% wrong,
we have to score. But a few times when it was still early in the game, we could have managed the game clock and had it working. We should have still had Wilson, and Wilson would have had a better game if the game was a lot closer.
Well, also, like they talk every week, the kick return game is a huge factor, and Atlanta was able to kick it deep enough and not have us.
Honestly, it was just like how great the Saints game is. This is how bad it was the week after.
You mean like the Packer game too?
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about like prior weeks. It was as shitty as good as the Giants are just another roller coaster. So I'm expecting the Giants to win next week, and then anything goes against the Eagles. It's going to be a tough matchup. I'm not saying the Giants are going to come in like.
This is going to be an interesting matchup, especially with how Baltimore's been playing.
Yeah, Baltimore's been slumping too.
How they're in the playoffs, so
they're already in the playoffs. The Giants are going in with their backs against the wall. This is where you like the Giants. Coughlin has definitely trained the Giants millions of times to show up. This is
one of those times that the veterans step up and.
If this championship caliber team finally wake up from this season-long slumber. Every time, a few weeks, they would turn it on, but now, do they go on that let's go run, and we're going to go for a run? It's tough to see. It's going to be another matchup. I don't see our defense stopping Ray Rice, but thank God the Ray Rice, for some reason...
They don't give him the ball, so it's okay.
They don't give him the ball enough. We can get to Flacco. Torrey Smith has a concussion, so that... Practice today, but he's still going to be a little concussed.
Ray Lewis is questionable, but he's been practicing as well. I wouldn't be shocked if Ray Lewis plays this week.
If he plays this week, we're not winning a game.
You know what?
Actually,
if he plays,
doesn't matter if
Suggs doesn't play.
I don't care. It's not about his skills anymore. It's just him being on the field.
That's why he'll be dressed, because of the way they played the last 3 weeks.
It's going to be so ridiculous.
They lost to Charlie Batch, Kirk Cousins, and then last week was just their new offense.
Very bad. That's really bad. But it's going to be a fun game. It's at 4:25. They flex that game up from 1 o'clock to 4:25.
They have Suggs as probable for this week.
It's probably a Jim Nantz, Phil Simms game, so that should be fun. Hello.
It's on Fox.
Sorry. So it's Joe Buck and
Joe and Troy.
Joe and Troy game. Joy.
Larry Lewis is not even on the injured list.
So that means he's probably going to play.
The Raven injury list today was Suggs probable.
So there you go. It's gonna be
Smith questionable, and Pierce questionable. Backup running back.
So it's going to be interesting.
Pretty sure it's a small spread. Bring that up for you guys.
I'm sure the Ravens are winning.
Giants by 2.5. Giants by 2.5 on the road.
Well, the Giants is a must-win scenario. I take them.
Giants must win, and you can't think that the Giants are going to put up a goose egg 2 weeks in a row.
They can't.
This has the side of like a 14-10 game.
It has one of those feels to it.
Just a disaster of a game. Come on, Giants. We got to win this game. We need you all to step up. Everybody.
They tried to be all in, per se.
Hopefully they brought somebody in this week. It's usually that time of the year they bring somebody in for a speech.
Hopefully they get redemption for the honor of the Newtown situation. That a lot of people from the Giants are helping, especially Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz didn't really get to show much of his efforts last week, unfortunately. So they triple teamed him, and Akeem Nicks it's all about Akeem Nicks here on out. If Akeem Nicks finally gels with Eli Manning and gets somewhat healthy, we're good as anybody.
He is healthy. They say he's healthy.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I, because he's not practicing.
He's not practicing one, and then on game days, he is nowhere to be found unless Eli gets him the ball.
Randall, Bradshaw, Nicks, Prince, Phillips.
Bradshaw is definitely playing. There's
no question he plays. Today. And they also said Prince is going to play.
Who's going to play?
They said Prince will play.
Prince.
They said he's
good.
They put him as unclear.
Yeah.
But they said that he's been running nice on the sideline. I think Kenny also. He has practiced this week.
Yeah, it's all hands on deck this week. If you're not hurt this week,
unless you're on crutches,
if your injury is really bad, you're playing this week because it's put up or shut up time, and Giants better put up That's all I gotta say.
Back on practice this week again.
Oh, who cares? Really, he's not gonna be any factor.
Bully was at practice today. Tuck was added to the list, of course. It's in his end of the year. I don't know what I'm doing mode.
Yeah, he'll be cool.
Should be a fun week.
Let's get it. It's do or die. The Giants are gonna win.
They play Philly next week, which is a disaster of a team. Who's playing in Washington, so we are Philly fans this week.
Yeah, go Eagles.
And also Saints fans.
Go Saints.
I think the Saints can knock out the Cowboys.
That'd be very nice. Go Saints.
If the Saints win, I think it is, then the Cowboys are out as long as the Giants and Skins win.
Pretty much. It's gonna be an interesting weekend with this whole NFC East, and which team is gonna get it to 10 wins first.
Back to last week. Just wanted to talk about it. The defense. Come on, D. It's time to wake up.
The D has been sleepwalking all season long.
Canty last week says, what did he say last week? He's like, oh, we haven't even played our best game yet. It's coming.
Yeah, well.
And clearly it wasn't last week. It's time to step up, D. All of them, the entire line. We need to see a pass rush. A couple times you were able to see OC run quick, but he didn't get it anywhere.
Yeah.
He didn't get it anywhere.
Pierre-Paul's having a quiet year because of double and triple team, of Puck not really helping out.
Canty, I know you missed the first half of the year, but you're quietly having a solid season. But you also got to step it up. Entire defense. Blackburn, I think, is second in the league, second on the team in tackles still. He's the only person you really can't complain about.
Yeah.
Bully's played well. And I like hearing what guys like Antroville said this week. He went over to the sideline and he went to his coaches and he said, listen, I'm sorry. And he apologized at the end of this game. He said it. He said that he went to the sideline after the game and he apologized for the way he played.
Yeah, they play like complete dog shit.
It was just a disaster.
They'll redeem themselves. It's the Giants. They do this all the time.
Yeah, this has been a defensive problem all season.
It's hopefully they have that quote-unquote dog mentality like they had in the Saints game. If that's the case, there's no way... Well, there is a possible way because the Ravens are a good team. But at the end of the day, they'll be there at the end of the game either having to make a defensive stop or driving at the last minute.
Let's just hope for a victory.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
Or 55-50. And it's just one of those games. I don't care.
Win the game 3-2. Give us a safety and kick a field goal. Go home.
We're at that time of the year.
Don't worry about the rest of the league. I think Washington's playing at 1. Washington's at 1. Dallas is playing...
Dallas is probably playing at 4.
Dallas is at 4 this week?
I have a feeling because originally
it's a 1.
Oh, they moved it to 1?
The Saints at Dallas at 1.
Oh wow, I'm shocked that's not a 4 o'clocker. I'm sure it was. And then they moved the Giants Ravens game. I remember.
I don't think there's any other game at 4 o'clock.
Really? No, there's a bunch like that.
Bears Cardinals.
Oh.
Browns Broncos. Speaking of the rest of the league. Alrighty, around the league. Clinching scenarios for this week, actually a lot. Basically, it's a Houston win, and they clinch everything.
Home field, which is nice.
Home field, first round bye. Atlanta's the same situation. Colts are winning in.
Winning in for
at Kansas City. Which
Denver,
got great news today, by the way. Chuck Pagano got cleared.
Awesome.
Baltimore wins the division with a win.
You also don't forget that the Broncos could get home field throughout if they. So what was that scenario again?
They get home if Houston loses both games. Denver ends up with it if they win both games. But Denver also gets first round bye if they win and New England loses this week.
Gotcha.
Since he's in with a win.
Which is well deserved,
Which,
by the way.
if they win, knocks out Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
they play
that's
Pittsburgh.
right.
Indy wins, they clinch a spot. Also, they clinch. So basically, it'll be
Pretty
Indy and
much.
Cincy. So
Pretty
basically,
much.
the AFC could be clinched this week.
Yeah, AFC is going to be clinched this week, either way.
NFC, San Francisco got a spot. They win the division with a win. They win a bye with a win and a Green Bay loss.
That's going to be interesting. That might be a little bit more far-fetched, but there's that.
They're not going to lose. They have Green
No,
Bay's
I
got
know.
Tennessee at home this week.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be tough. They're not going to win the division this weekend, but...
They could win the division, not the bye though. They play Seattle at Seattle.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Good point.
Seattle's in with a win. They're in the playoffs. Washington's in the playoffs with a win. Giant lost, Chicago lost, Minnesota lost.
So Washington can win regardless of doesn't need anything, and they win the division.
No. If they win,
And the
they're in the
Giants-
playoffs. They get a
Okay.
spot. They're gonna get a spot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Basically, Chicago will be eliminated. A
Okay.
Giant win and a Washington win eliminate Chicago.
Okay, so let's go.
And then the Giants clinch a spot with the win and all those losses.
That we've talked about before. Alright, but honestly, I'm not. That's way too unrealistic.
Giants, you don't worry about. See, basically, put it this way: Seattle wins, they're in the playoffs. That'll take out one wild card spot.
Yep.
Because that'll leave San Francisco and Seattle. San Francisco clinches the division with a win.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle can lose and make the playoffs though. If San Francisco wins this week, they win the division. Which would mean the Seahawks lose. Chicago loses, Minnesota loses, Washington loses. Or Washington ties and Dallas loses. Seattle gets a spot.
Yeah,
Basically, Chicago loses, they're out.
yeah, that's
the way you gotta
true
look
for
at it.
Chicago, and they haven't really been playing well.
Because
So.
if you really want to think about it, there's 5 teams in three spots.
So the Saints, hopefully the Saints win this week.
And Washington's playing Philly, so
Yeah.
in Philly. McCoy's back, by the way. So Andy Reid, if you're listening, I know you're not, but give the ball to McCoy.
Yep, except for in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks he can sit again. On the last play, I wouldn't mind letting Fletcher laying him out.
How rude.
That's basically it for the clinching scenarios.
So it's a lot of math involved, and this weekend is gonna be fun. It's one of my favorite weekends. It's also fantasy Super Bowl week. I'm in 2 Super Bowls, which I'm excited for. A lot of money, a lot of friendships broken, yada yada yada. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I have a few scenarios, but I'm hopefully gonna figure it out, and hopefully Eli doesn't screw me, or tries to screw me again like last week. Thank God my team overcame that.
That's unless you play Ben. Well, I got you here. Let's talk. We're going to talk 2 other things now. There's a couple of records to be broken.
Okay.
Let's see what you say. Should we? I'm not gonna bring up the ones that everybody's talking about right now. I'm gonna bring you up the ones that nobody talks about. One that's useless is the punter. Dave's the guy from the Rams.
Okay.
Needs 422 to break the all-time.
He's not.
Okay. Forced fumble record. Better question. Who owns the record?
OC.
How many?
OC had 8 1 year.
Nope. Higher.
11.
Lower.
10.
2010. He had 10 of them. Charles Tillman is tied with him.
He's gonna break it.
That's definitely broken. Pass attempts. Drew Bledsoe was 691 in 94.
Alright. And who has?
Stafford has 629.
That's gonna be broken.
He needs 32 per game.
He'll get that.
Okay. All-purpose yard record. Sproles 2696. Randall Cobb has it right now is the current leader this season at
Okay.
2,241.
How many did what's his face have?
Sproles had 2,696.
And how many shy is Kyle?
455.
Nah.
All purpose yard. This one I'm going to call right now doesn't happen. Receptions.
Okay.
In the season. Brandon Marshall's got 107. The record's 143.
No. Not a chance.
Now we'll go into the records that everybody's talking about. Sacks.
Yes.
Alden Smith and J.J. Watts.
Well, but it's going to be Smith.
With more.
Yeah.
Okay. Strahan, of course, 22 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, Jerry Rice was on SportsCenter this morning when I was getting ready for work, and it said that he would love to see Calvin Johnson break his record. Calvin's at 1,667, and Jerry Rice had 1,848.
It's coming really close. I think you look at it. Because Stafford, they throw the ball more than
He needs to average 147.
It's going to be tough.
He's been averaging 147 in his last 7 games.
It's going to be hard, but I think at the end of the day, he'll come out on top with that.
And keep in mind, if he keeps that average, if he hits the 147, he'll just need 34 yards in Week 17 against Chicago, which he had his probably worst game of his career.
Yeah.
And of course, the rushing record.
Yes.
He needs to average 94 yards in the 2 games. He does that in 1 run every week.
Yeah. He's been a beast. He'll have that by this weekend.
You think he's going to break the record this weekend?
Yeah.
No.
He's only 94 yards shy?
No. He needs to average 94 in both weeks.
How many yards do you have left?
How many yards? It's a close. 1 second, I'll get you the exact.
Like, if it's higher than 150, obviously not.
In 2 games, you don't think he can get...
Oh, in 2 games, yeah. No, I'm talking
293.
about... Wow.
He needs 293 combined. Basically, he
That's-
needs 300 yards in 2 games.
That's a little
150 a game.
Yeah, that could happen, but...
Who are they playing?
I forget. Obviously, a division team next week.
At Tennessee. At the Texans this week.
Yeah.
And then home against Green Bay. Who might not have anything to play for.
Yeah.
Which could basically be one of those, here, have the record games.
Nah, they're not letting Adrian Peterson just running wild all over them. That's not happening. After last season in the playoffs, they're not. They're taking it very serious this year. The buys and who's not playing and whatnot. They're taking it very serious this year.
Okay, now that the Vikings won't be making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who's your MVP?
Oh, the toss-up.
Keep this in mind. He has more rushing yards than his quarterback has passing.
I know. I'm still going to stick with Peyton. Just for the sure fact that he was out the whole entire season.
Yeah, but this is a guy who tore his ACL
I know.
1 year ago now.
But Peyton's had how many neck fusions for surgeries? It's pretty impressive, and how far he's taken the Denver Broncos. It's just infusion. Adrian, don't get me wrong, AP obviously deserves it. He might get 2,000 rushing yards, but it's a quarterback-driven league with passing, everybody pass-happy offenses. I think it just goes to show how important and how great Peyton Manning is.
Okay. Now that we have that down, last thing this week. We'll go over this again next 2 weeks because standings change, records change, of course.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out the teams at the bottom of the list. We're going to do hot seats.
Okay.
Okay?
Here we go.
I'm not going to throw coaching names because I don't even know Jacksonville's coach. But I'll give you team names, okay?
Okay.
Kansas City.
Gone.
Jacksonville.
Gone.
Philly.
Obviously gone, but you never know with them. But he's gone.
Jim Schwartz in Detroit.
Stays.
Oakland.
He should stay. He's gonna stay.
You would think that 1 year eventually they'll let a guy stay past 1 year, right?
Yeah. He's staying.
Wisenhunt in Arizona.
Gone.
Tennessee.
Stay.
Rivera.
Gone.
Buffalo.
He'll stay 1 more year.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. They're doing a decent job. They're still a couple of years away, so I'll give them a pass.
Keep this in mind. Their GM is an interim GM right now. They might bring in a new GM.
Yeah, this is true. So the odds of a new coach is pretty high. So, but I'll say their coach deserves another shot.
San Diego.
Gone. We all know that already.
Tampa Bay.
Oh, they don't like Shiano anymore, apparently. I say stay, but if he's gone, I wouldn't be shocked.
Saints bring back Sean Payton?
The Saints? Yes.
Miami.
Miami stays.
Jets.
Stays.
St. Louis.
Stays. It's my Coach Fisher, who's done a solid job. He's rebuilding the character.
We're getting into that. Almost there, but not there yet. Playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers.
Stay.
Cowboys if they don't make the playoffs.
Gone.
If they do make it?
No, if they don't make the playoffs again, Garrett's not making. I'm staying coach.
Leslie Frazier.
Stays.
Coughlin we know.
Yeah.
Lewis in Cincinnati.
Stays.
Lovie Smith.
Stays.
I'm going gone.
Oh, Lovie Smith? No, he's definitely
Chicago?
I'm sorry.
Gone.
Yeah. It's about time if he leaves.
Besides that, you just got playoff teams.
Yep.
So basically you're saying most of the teams not making the playoffs are making coaching changes.
No, more than half, but some of them deserve it, some of them are not. More than half are obviously not going to get fired, but there's going to be a lot of coaching changes this year. I firmly believe that.
Okay. Now back to that point from before. Does Josh McDaniels get another coaching job?
No.
Anyway?
He would have had it right.
No. Not necessarily. He had the year off and then now he's back offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't think so. He has
Wade Phillips?
No, he's better the coordinator.
Does North Turner ever coach you?
No. He would be a coordinator.
The only guys that I can actually see going out and getting jobs, though, that are on teams that are around, is Jack Del Rio.
Yeah.
He could probably get a job. Shanahan's son.
Kyle's staying with his dad.
Kyle's staying with his dad.
Mm-hmm. Why mess it up? Why mess up a good thing? I strongly feel that they're...
Okay, then here's two questions for you. Alex Smith, where's he playing next year?
I can't tell you.
I
don't think he's starting anywhere.
Okay. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins staying. They're not going to trade Kirk Cousins.
You can't trade him.
No, they're not going to, unless it's some offer they can't refuse. He's going to stay with the Redskins because they like having him as RG3's backup. Like he's going to be proven since he's a rookie, but he's always been tough as nails, and that's really good to have as a backup for RG3, who has a reckless style of quarterback style.
We also got a comment from my cousin Evan.
Okay.
Basically, it's a comment / he wants to know.
Okay.
When the schedule came out, it was declared the hardest for the New York Giants. Fans circled San Francisco Packers, Saints, and we crushed them all.
Yep.
How does a team go from losing in Cincy, not showing up to Atlanta, flipping on a switch?
It's just how the Giants do it. It's hard.
About the leaders.
It's what?
It's about the leaders.
It's hard. Yeah. It really is amazing. It's every year. It's the same mumbo jumbo, and it's the games that their backs are against the wall. It's about their backs against their wall. That's why I'm so confident that they're gonna win them. It's they think they could turn on the switch whenever they want, and it doesn't work that way. Last year, we got lucky that we played tough teams at the end of the year and we got hot. This year we are playing a good Falcons team, but I'm scared to death that the Giants think they're going to be able to roll over and just show up to play against the Eagles. Which unfortunately they know they cannot, but they will still somehow make us sweat through the Eagles game.
That's going to be a fun game. I think, because there's no way that the Eagles aren't going to show up for that game. Andy Reid's final game. Andy Reid's going to have his team showing up.
Oh, they're definitely showing up, and it's put up or shut up time. And
if it's a possibility of eliminating the Giants,
100%.
There's no way they don't show up. And I called it already, since Vic's not on the IR, that the Giants are going to knock out Foles. And Vic's going to have to come in.
Let's hope.
So not. I don't want to see that. I just feel that he would come in and be like, I can still do this.
Yeah, it's a very tricky, slippery slope with the Eagle game. But we got to worry about the Ravens this week.
Hey, let's hope we get a nice little week this week and lucky around the league.
It's going to be a good week. Everybody enjoy it. If your fantasy team is still in it in the championship round or in the semifinals, good luck. Hopefully I go 2-0 and get some good jelly beans out of the action. But once again, enjoy another week of football.
Before we go, we do have a couple birthday shout-outs.
Okay.
Well, we're still on. Dylan and Sean McCoy, happy birthday. Dylan was on Monday.
Happy birthday.
Sean is today. And Brian tomorrow.
Okay, happy birthday.
And I'd just like to wish you guys a happy birthday, and here we Giants.
Happy birthday, guys.
Enjoy the weekend. Also, just a reminder, the S&D podcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates. Enjoy the football. We'll see you guys next week.